Hey YouTube, Eric from Team Value 2010 here, and I'm here with a new decks, top tier decks in the meta. So basically the decks are going to be top tier, tier 1 or tier 2 or whatever in the new meta. So yeah, that's basically what I'm going to do, just tell you guys what decks I think are going to be great. I'm trying to make this quick, but I got this idea originally from Kelvin838, so that's a little shout out. Kelvin838, link will be in the description thingy. He gave me the idea for this video, and I thought I'd just do a follow-up since I did a fanless videos, discussion video. So I just wanted to tell you guys what decks I think are going to be great, or what are not going to be as good as they used to be. And yeah, alright, so I'm just going to get started on that. Alright, so let's get started. First off, instead of most people have tier 1 and tier 2, I have tier 1.5 as well. So let's just get started. So first off, tier 1, I think Dark Worlds are going to be great. They're neat. They're fairly budget, but since in the OCG they're fairly budget, but in the TCG, the Dark Worlds are sort of, with Tour Guide and Fabled Raven, it's sort of a non-budget deck, but if you want to make the budget version, it'd be a tier 1.5, but for now, it's tier 1. They're great, they're neat, they're fast, and they're just an incredible deck, I guess. Next off, we have Tengu Synchro. Tengu Synchro, basically, it used to be Tengu Plants, but now that Plants got hit big time, it's Tengu Synchro. Just any deck that can synchro someone really fast and repeatedly have Tengu on the field and just keeps making Tengu. Next off, we have Asian Fairies. They're great because they have an effect failure that's better than effect failure. They're fast. Hyperion's a boss. Like, nobody can beat that. He's just amazing, and the deck has so many different versions that if you can build it right, you have an amazing deck. Next up we have Chaos / Anti-Meta. So basically, Chaos basically an Anti-Meta Chaos version, because now we have Blackluster Soldier back, and we have Spirit Reaper at 3. So I think that it'll be hard to get past that, and people are going to start recreating this deck again, and it's going to be tier 1. Then moving on to tier 1.5, the first deck we have on this tier is Gravekeepers. I love Gravekeepers, and I think they're a great deck, but they didn't really get hit, because World Tribute's still an amazing card and it hasn't gotten hit, but it got hit a little with Royal Oppression being knocked off. That was a huge winner for this deck, sort of slowed down any deck that was, because a lot of decks, because it's a fast deck, but it's not as fast as Synchro decks, so it sort of kept up by Royal Oppression. Royal Oppression sort of controlled the field and took other decks down to its speed level, so getting Royal Oppression lost sort of loses that edge, so it sort of drops down to 1.5, and with Heavy Storm it's harder to keep Echo Valley on the field, so it was sort of a hit, but I guess they're still tier 1.5, and I think that they're really in between tier 1 and tier 1.5. They're not really tier 1.5, but I think they can be good with the right decks. And we're seeing Malefic's being played in that again, so whatever. Next up we have Lightsworn. That's interesting because now they're back because the ban list gave them 3 Judgment Dragon. I think that was completely uncalled for, but they got it. They got Judgment Dragon, they got Pain Painter, and I think with that, Lightsworns are sort of back to tier 1.5. They sort of fell off the tier list. Do I think we're going to see a lot of Lightsworn players? No, but I do think they're going to resurface, and they are going to be broken, but not really broken, but they're going to be pretty good with the triple JD. But yeah, moving on. Next we have Offering Gadget, a deck that I think really originated with MCO40. It's a great deck. It's just spamming your gadget with Ultimate Offering and going triple Utopia and going for game. Unfortunately, it's not doing too good in the OCG this deck, so Ultimate Offering didn't get hit at all, and it probably won't get hit for the TCG ban list when it gets released either. It's just a really fast deck, and it's an OTK deck. It's amazing. But it's just not tier 1 yet, because it can be stopped by stronger decks. It's not as strong, it's not a firm, solid deck, but whatever. Next one we have tier 2. So, Six Samurai, I think a lot of people are happy to see Six Samurai fall to tier 2, because this deck was like tier 0, like, it wasn't even on this list. But after getting hit so hard, Smoke Signal getting hit, Xian getting hit, they really lost the huge edge that they did have. And now they're tier 2. And it's good because now we don't have to deal with the fastest deck in the meta. They've fallen down to tier 2, and it might make a lot of people happy. Next up, you have Elemental Heroes slash Mass Heroes. They were never on the meta. I loved Elemental Heroes. They're still one of my favorite decks ever, and they sort of were never on the meta because they just weren't a solid deck. We had our Gemini variant with Neos Alias, but there was no really hero. Like, we had Hero Beat and stuff, but that was just Alias. Pure hero deck could never win. But now with the Masters, the new fusions, Great Tornado coming out, the Legendary Collection 2 giving this deck a huge boost, I think that we're safe to say that this deck is going to come up to tier 2. I think it's a great deck, especially with the Guy Reapin. I think we're going to see a lot of E-heroes being played just for fun, but in general, just a great deck. Moving on to Blackwings. Blackwings were like tier 1 a long time ago. We had them at tier 0, but they're slowly falling down on the tier list, and they're eventually going to be obsolete. No offense to Blackwing Bears, and I know Brian plays them, but I feel like they're just losing power as we move on. But they're still a great deck, and I think they're a very fun deck. X-Saber is probably my favorite deck in the whole world, apart from Gravekeeper. I just never had the money to make them. Now, apart from the Dark Souls, they're relatively cheap to make, but I don't have the money to make them. X-Sabers are fast, and I think they're going to come back, and they're going to be pretty good. And with Heavy and stuff coming back, I think they can be pretty good. And with the new card that's coming out in Photon Shockwave, I believe Rescue Rabbit, I think it's like the new Rescue Cat, they're going to do pretty well. I think they can boost themselves up to tier 1.5 with that card. And finally, we have Plants. Plants used to dominate at tier 1 / tier 0, but after that giant hit they took on the ban list, with Debris Dragon and the Lone Fire, and I think there was another card just not on my mind, but they got hit big time, so they lost their edge. So sort of Tengu and Plants sort of separated, and now Tengu stayed up at tier 1, and Plants dropped down to tier 2. And they were really fast, but now I sort of think they got hit big time, and Debris Dragon, and I think I already said that, sorry, I don't know, anyways, they're not going to be that solid anymore, so that's the phone. Yeah, they're not going to be that solid anymore, and they're down to tier 2, and hopefully we'll never see Plants again, because I just hate the deck. Because I'm hoping Glow Up Bulb will be banned in March 1st. Anyways, yeah, so that's the review of the meta, basically. So, thanks for watching, guys. Please like the video, comment, subscribe. Tell me what decks you think are going to be tier 1.5 and 2 and so on. So anyways, that's it. Alright, bye YouTube.